I'm Diane, a Green Iowa AmeriCorps member from Iowa City, and it is my pleasure to share with you this video about ephemeral art in spring. One of the beautiful things about nature is that it is always changing. The definition of ephemeral is to be fleeting, impermanent, lasting only a while. Ephemeral art, therefore, embraces the beauty of change and cycles by using only natural materials and creating works that are meant to disappear with time. The blog, Childhood by Nature, puts it well. The beauty of ephemeral art is that it can teach us that not everything we value has to be material. Not everything we create has to be taken home or even returned to. The process of making art is fulfilling enough to be the focus at times. If ephemeral art captures your interest and imagination, there are some artists you absolutely have to check out. Bridget Beth Collins, aka Flower Forager, creates artwork using plants like a painter would use pigment. She artistically arranges flowers and leaves into whimsical illustrations that look like they're straight out of a fairy tale. Hannah Bullen-Reiner highlights how, with the right eye and keen attention to detail, it's possible to create stunning portraits of our feathered friends. She arranges twigs, leaves, flower petals, and berries into tiny birds that have a fleeting existence on the ground as land art. Vinaya Yazi is of Dene and Hopi affiliations and a member of the Eastern Navajo Reservation. As an artist and educator, she strives to reclaim the indigenous stories of her desert people via her art, photography, and poetry. Ephemeral art was first introduced to me via a book I checked out from the Iowa City Public Library. Fiona Danks and Joe Schofield wrote Make It Wild, 101 Things to Make and Do Outdoors. My favorite springtime projects from this book are stone stacking and stone sculptures, and projects using clay or mud, like these amazing tree faces. I found other inspiration for springtime nature art from the blog Rain or Shine Mama. I loved seeing found materials put to fantastic use to create these nature people, and seeing the imagination behind these amazing mud sculptures. Ephemeral art is something you should absolutely try for yourself. Your own backyard is a great place for exploring and creating. In the next part of this video, we'll touch on a dozen destinations around Iowa City where mud and nature beckon. In the Northeast, check out Hickory Hills Oak Woodlands, Oak Hickory Savanna, Prairie, Bottomland Forest, and Hillside Seeps. Many of these areas are undergoing restoration to return them to healthy ecosystems. In the South, Terry Trueblood's Lake and Woods, and the areas of prairie, pond, and wetlands around Sycamore Greenway and Whispering Meadow Wetlands Park provide plenty of natural materials for creative hands. In the north, Waterworks Prairie Park has a pond, riverfront, and prairie to explore. On the far south side of town, Ryerson's Woods is Iowa City's only state park. The creek, hillside, and forest here are some of my absolute favorite places to explore. Near Coralville Dam, the Devonian Fossil Gorge is a site for tons of fossils, of course, but it also has a nice mix of mud and loose stones, perfect for springtime sculptures. Also on the far south side, Belgium Grove has a pond, a small wetland, an apple orchard, a creek, and acres of beautiful rolling landscapes filled with forbs and wildlife. It is one of the properties of Burr Oak Land Trust. If you haven't visited them before, visit burroaklandtrust.org before you go to get acquainted with each site. Near Solon, the Big Grove Preserve also has a creek plus acres of woods to enjoy. Shimek Ravine, just west of Shimek Elementary, and Muddy Creek Preserve near Coralville provide steep wooded hills filled with wildlife. Turkey Creek Nature Preserve is a fantastic family spot with prairie and an abundance of riches in Turkey Creek. Whenever you are a visitor, remember that the only materials that are fair game for using are those that are not attached to the ground. A leaf attached to a tree is attached to the ground. Don't be afraid to interact with nature, but do be thoughtful about how the ecosystem works together. It is someone's home. Most importantly, though, get out there and exercise your imagination and creativity. a world of wonders awaits.